So if you do not have access to this wonderful and interesting PDF that I've designed, be sure to check the link in the video description below and you'll be able to find the file right there. It's free to download and it contains questions and answers from the 2016 exam all the way to 2024. So make sure that you download it so that if you are writing the exam this coming month or later in the later part of this year, you'll be able to pass with flying colors. So as you can see, this was found on question 4 and it read as follows. Hopefully you are able to see. Given that matrix P equals this matrix right here, find its determinant. Then after finding its determinant, we are asked to find its inverse. Okay, so that's the flow of the question. So if you download this book, you'll see that I've already answered them. That's the solution for the first part, and this is the solution for the second part. Okay, so let us answer the question. I'm going to write this question on the paper and we're going to do all the calculations and we're going to do the calculations together. So let us begin. So to find the determinant of matrix P, this is what we do. We multiply the elements in the leading diagonal. By leading diagonal, we mean this diagonal, as you can see here. This is the leading diagonal. So when you look at this matrix, the elements that are in the leading diagonal are 3 and 2. So we need to multiply 3 and 2. After doing that, we need to subtract from it elements, the product of elements in the trailing diagonal. So the trailing diagonal is this diagonal right here. So the elements that are in the trailing diagonal are -1 and -4. So that's how we find the determinant of a given matrix. So we say determinant of P, so that's how we denote the determinant of a matrix, equals, so let us multiply the elements in the leading diagonal. So this is the leading diagonal right there. So it's going to be 3 multiplied by 2 minus, we need now to subtract from it the elements, the product of elements in the trailing diagonal. So elements in the trailing diagonal are these elements that I've covered right here, which is -4 times -1. So we need to find the product of -4 times -1. Okay, so let us do that. What is 3 times 2? It's going to be 6. So indicate a 6 like so. So now here, as you can see, let me first of all indicate a minus. We need to first work out what's inside the brackets. So what is -4 times -1? It's going to be positive what? 4. Like so. Okay, so this is basically 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4, it's going to give us a 2. So the determinant of matrix P is positive 2. So we have found the determinant of P. So now let us look at the second part here, that is saying that the inverse. So let us find the inverse of matrix P. So how do we indicate inverse? Inverse is indicated by adding a -1 like so. So this means that we're finding the inverse of P. So to find the inverse of a matrix, we first of all write 1 over the determinant of the matrix that we want to find the inverse, which is P. So we find the determinant of P. So in short, what we are doing here is we are finding the inverse of the determinant multiplied by the adjoint of what? Adjoint of P. So that's how we do it. So let me just explain briefly. To find the inverse of matrix P, we first of all find the inverse of the determinant multiplied by the adjoint of P. So now here we already know the determinant because we are just from finding the determinant, which is a 2. So we just substitute this part with that 2 that we have already found. So it's going to be 1 over a 2, which is just simply half times the adjoint. So now this is where I need to do some explanation. So what it means by adjoint, it means that we have to interchange the elements in the leading diagonal. So where there is a 3, we're going to put a 2. Where there is a 2, we are going to put a 3. So as you can see, let me indicate that by saying, so here where there was a 3, we're going to put a 2. So here where there was a 2, we're going to put a 3. So that's for the leading diagonal. Now, in the trailing diagonal, we interchange the signs. Not interchange the signs, rather. What it means that is we change the signs. So if the sign was positive, it becomes negative. If the sign was negative, it becomes positive. So now, since all those are negatives, they all become positives because that's what it means to find the adjoint. So it's going to be positive 4 here, and here it's going to be a 1. So that's how we find the adjoint. Okay, let us add that to indicate that this is a matrix. Okay, so we are halfway there. We are halfway there. So now what we need to do here is just multiply. So what is half times 2? We all know that half times 2 is just 1. Half times 1, it's going to be half. Okay, we're going to indicate 1 over 2. Half times 4, it's going to be a 2. Half times 3, it's going to be 1 and a half. And my friends, that's how you find the inverse of a matrix. So just by doing that, we have answered the question. And as you can see in the exam, this question carried how many marks? 2 marks each. So we have scored 4 marks just by doing what we have done right here. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe this video to your children if you're a parent, to your students if you're a teacher, and to your friends, obviously, so that they may benefit as well from this lesson. Thank you so much. If you do not have access to this book, I encourage you that you download it. It's available for free on this channel. You can check the video description of this video and you'll be able to find a link from where you are going to download it and access the material. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and if you're writing the examination this coming month, I wish you all the best. See you very soon. Have a nice day.